What's up, guys? So in today's video, we're going to talk about Boeing stock. So I received a really interesting question. I just posted a recent video talking about will Tesla stock go down to 500. So a lot of you guys are wondering if Boeing stock will fall back down to kind of that lower support level that we've seen basically during the whole coronavirus sell-off. So from the quick look of things, this is a look at the longer term chart of Boeing stock. I know a lot of you guys out there are long-term bullish on Boeing, and I am as well, but there are some short-term concerns when it comes to this stock. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys a quick article on Market Watch that was recently published where it says airline stocks take a dive after Boeing CEO warns of possible industry bankruptcy. So it says CEO Calhoun's timeline for full recovery of the airline industry is longer than many others. So this here is the CEO of Boeing. So basically what it says is that airline stocks suffered a broad sell-off Tuesday after Boeing chief executive David Calhoun provided a dire outlook for the industry, which included a prediction that a major bankruptcy was likely in the next several months. So as he went on to quote, I don't want to get too predictive on that subject, but yes, most likely something will happen when September comes around. He said he believed airline traffic levels won't be back to even 25% in September and maybe only approach 50% by the end of the year, with a return to pre-coronavirus pandemic levels not likely for 3 to 5 years. Okay, guys, so why is this important? Well, this is very important because for a lot of you guys wondering, should I buy Boeing stock now? Well, if things aren't going to return back to the way they were for 3 to 5 years, then you're going to have a really long-term view on Boeing stock. And as you can see here, the stock is currently in a downtrend. So if we take a look at the shorter term, we take a look at the 3-month chart, it is basically seeing a strong support of around $120 or so on a small downtrend. So guys, I really don't like buying stocks that are downtrending in general because I think good stocks definitely will be returning value year over year. And Boeing is a stock that I mentioned earlier. It's been on a downtrend for a while. So it wasn't just due to the whole coronavirus pandemic. I mentioned in the previous videos, you guys can check it out in my playlist, that they were suffering from the Boeing 737 MAX crisis as well. So Boeing is basically suffering multiple issues here. So when we're taking a look at this stock, you're going to have a super long-term point of view on it. And the reason is because, as it is from the CEO, he said it himself, things are going to be 3 to 5 years. So this video is going to talk a bit more about where I'm going to see Boeing stock in 2023 and 2025, because I think that's just more relevant, and I think that will kind of add more value to your whole investment strategy. So for me personally here, I think Boeing stock is a buy, but you have to be very careful where you buy the stock. So I would recommend buying this stock in something like a retirement account, right? Because retirement accounts are basically accounts that are going to have a much longer term view. So if you guys have a Roth IRA, a SEP IRA, or just a traditional IRA account, I think that's the most fantastic place to purchase Boeing stock. If you guys are looking for a short-term trade, I wouldn't really, this isn't the best place to look for this, because if things aren't going to return back to normal by 2023, then you're basically going to be sitting on a position that could be trading flat for a while. So as you can see here, I want to take one more quick look at that longer term chart. You can see that Boeing had basically been going through distribution for a multi-year gap. So basically, guys, here we have 4 phases in most stocks. So this was the accumulation phase, the run up, the distribution phase, and here we have the rundown. So now we're entering back into the accumulation phase, and this whole phase took about, if we take a look at when the run-up started back in 2016, it took about 4 years for this cycle to complete. So that works perfectly with kind of our 2024, 2025 outlook that matches exactly what the CEO said. So I think it's very safe to give Boeing stock a soft price target of around $300 by 2023, which means that you could have a potential 100 to 150% gain if you're simply super patient. So why do I recommend buying this retirement account? Because I think it's beneficial for investors to perhaps have 2 different accounts. So me personally, when I have super long-term stocks that I plan to hold for many years, stocks like Coca-Cola, stocks like Procter and Gamble, I like to buy those in my retirement account. Okay, I'm 33 years old. I'm entering my mid 30s, so I'm looking at these stocks I want to hold into my late 30s, 40s, and 50s. But if you guys are looking for a short-term potential trade, you could be beneficial by opening up a second account. So what that does is it kind of gives you the option of basically having a stock account that you can invest in, as I would say, more sexier options. So the Teslas and the stocks like Netflix and stocks that don't necessarily pay a dividend but have a lot of growth. So but when it comes to my retirement, I'm looking for passive income in my retirement. I want to live off of my dividends, and that's kind of my goal with my retirement account. I want to achieve, be able to basically have my dividend income cover my expenses as in retirement. So that's why I'm leaning more towards those old, tried and true dividend stocks. So Boeing is definitely, even though they cut the dividend, Boeing is still a diversified company. They're not just involved in the aerospace industry. They have a lot of different revenue sources. And I think this is a short-term blip. So I think that long-term Boeing is an excellent stock to earn. And I do not think that we're going to see Boeing stock return down to these levels. I think this was more of a panic situation because due to the whole coronavirus pandemic. So this wasn't really indicative of Boeing's true intrinsic value. I think this was a panic sell-off. So what I would do now is that I would be adding to my position and I would just be patient and I'd be looking towards 2023. So if you guys are looking for a way to kind of invest in this stock, you don't have to necessarily time the markets. You can use dollar cost averaging. It's a very simple strategy. So let's say your goal is to maybe purchase, let's say you want to purchase a couple shares a month. You can simply just invest, let's say, $250 a month every month. So you'll purchase more shares as the price goes down and fewer shares as the price goes up. And that way, by 2023, 2024, when all this stuff is behind us, you're going to be sitting pretty good with a high quality stock that can produce dividends and return value to you, as you near retirement, or if you're currently in retirement, it can actually produce more value a couple of years from now. So that's my take on Boeing stock, guys. I think this is a very, very long-term view. But if you guys are looking for some quick gains, be sure to check out the other videos on my channel where I cover hyper growth stocks, and stocks that can return 40% or more per year. So we're talking stocks like Tesla, stocks like Roku, stocks like Netflix, stocks like Match Group. Those are some of the other stocks. So this guy's slow and steady. The other hyper growth stocks, rocket ships type of shares. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content. And be sure to look out for more videos on Boeing. I'm going to cover this stock more into the future. I think it's super, super undervalued. Until next time, take care.